Welcome back to another episode of Football Tussle there still. You can see the usual suspects, myself and Grand Champ there still. So
Oh,
yes,
wow, it's
no
been a while.
better.
It's been a while. We had a guest on the show, my friend. But maybe at the end
Yeah,
of
well, what's it called?
the end of the season.
As we always say, guests from anywhere in the world, whatever league you want to talk about, send in your invites via the comment page or by Instagram, Twitter, you name it.
Mhm.
YouTube, whatever. But yeah, possibly end of season. What's it called? When we talk about the reward awards, who's
Yeah,
won the Prem, FA
yeah,
Cup, Champions League, Europa League, you name it. There's still
yeah.
team of the year and all that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Who was your best player for the whole season or end of season and stuff like that? What looking forward to that end of season episode there. It's always a good one there still when we compare each other's teams there. But yeah, that will come in due course.
Have we
But
have
no
we
further.
have we have we done
Yeah,
a team of the season this year?
no, I don't think so. Still, no. There's no point now since we're coming so close to the end. We
It's
might
no
as well
point.
just leave it to
Exactly. I was
towards the end
gonna
of
say.
the season, the
Yeah.
second to last or the last
Yeah.
episode of the season there before we go on
Thank you.
our what's it called summer annual break there. But yeah, no further to do, as I say, but start at the Fortress Anfield. Anfield, baby. This
Mhm.
is Anfield, the famous sign. And Arsenal know about Anfield. They
I'm
haven't won at that ground since 2012. So what have you got to say
2012. Are you
about
sure? I think it's the last
yeah,
six
yeah,
games.
2012. You want me to what's it? You want me don't try it. Don't try it. What were you gonna say?
Well, bring out the
Not
stats then.
Shavin, not a Shavin, because even that game you didn't win. So there you Oh, a
um,
Shavin was gone as well. A Shavin, a
Carragher,
Shavin. What a
Carragher,
player as
and
well. What a player.
what defend Carragher, who was the Aurelio? They were doing some nonsense. The left back Aurelio, the Brazilian. I remember that game.
There you go. There
But
you
anyway,
go.
listen.
Wonderful.
Look, if you told me at the start of the game that Arsenal, if you told me at the start of the game, take a point, I would have said yes. If you told
Before the
me,
game.
but yeah, before the game, sorry. If you told me, okay, are you going to take a point with Arsenal 2 up? I would have said no. I would have said, listen, the game was there for the taking, and I was saying to my friends I was watching the games with, was it yesterday? I was saying, keep it solid to half time. Do not concede before half time. Do not give them the opportunity to come back in. And then whilst I was making that comment, it was a goal from Salah. And once again, Zinchenko was sleeping, seems to be forgetting his duties lately. And then the once I saw Bobby coming on, I said to my friend again, I said, listen, Bobby's record against Arsenal is crazy. He's probably scored like 5-5 or something against Arsenal. The next minute
Yeah.
they said he had scored, I think 6-6 or 7-7.
Yeah.
And then next
Bobby
minute,
Dazzler.
and then exactly, and the next minute, once again, Zinchenko, poor defending again, being nutmegged by Arnold. There was no. I knew it was very tired, and I will get onto that for a second. It got done easily, and then the cross, Ben White didn't know who was behind him, and there was a Firmino goal.
Awareness gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Zinchenko for both of the goals. If I was looking individually, I would blame him.
Oh yeah,
Um,
definitely. That's why he was
um,
crying.
yeah,
I said that's why he was crying when he was
yeah,
subbed.
yeah, because he was poor. He was poor, and then but then I also blame the manager as well because Liverpool at 2-1 were piling on the pressure. Liverpool were making changes upon changes upon changes. And I was crying out for Arteta to take off two players. That was Jesus, who wasn't getting the better of Konate no more because he wasn't peeling off. You ain't gonna beat Konate for strength. And Konate's a big man, he's a titan. So you ain't gonna beat him for strength. And I saw Jesus trying to do falling and all the time. No, stop that. So, and then listen, I don't want to get onto this guy because I can't get onto him. He's a 21-year-old. Well, Saka had one of his poorest games for Arsenal in a very long time. In a very long time. Yes, he had that bit of moment where he done a bit of skill, but if he had a better touch, he should have been in. So I was crying out for Arteta to make certain changes. He could have brought in Jorginho just to give us more bodies in midfield, not bringing the clueless centre back, which I believe Arsenal bought, and I think it's going to be gone at the end of the season on a cut price of 10 million. I know we're going for like 20 million, but
yeah.
With what I've seen, he's no better than the guy we loaned to Udinese, which was Pablo Mari. So I think the changes Arteta made yesterday were a bit poor, to be honest. He brought on Tierney too late. Saka was kept on when he was clearly tired. Jesus was kept on when he was clearly tired. I would have brought in Jorginho with the experience. I would have brought in Flippin Trossard. I would have brought Reece Nelson. We allow 5 changes. But look, I've had time to reflect, and let me not be greedy. As the whole purpose at the start of the season, I would never have thought Arsenal would have been able to win or challenge for the Premier League, and now they're challenging for the Premier League. So I would go with my initial thing, which was Arsenal to get to leave Anfield with a point. The only thing what we need to do is now that we don't drop any points, because Man City looking like they're gonna breeze through the games, because Ireland is playing like a robot, and and it's to get a point at the Etihad, which is highly unlikely.
It's possible if they. It's
highly unlikely. No.
It's highly unlikely, but you just have to have the
Anfield, sorry to go short. Anfield has set a point. Etihad will not get no point. We give it to Man City. No matter how much good we play, give it to Man City.
Well, if that's true, then the title's gone. But what's it called? We don't know anything.
We hope Man City. Anyway. We hope Man City drop points. We hope Man City drop points because the amount of games they have. But once again, credit to Liverpool anyway. Credit to Liverpool.
Yeah,
Liverpool.
Yeah.
Liverpool. What Liverpool have done, they've altered our title race, which I guess is payback for the many years when Arsenal did the same thing with Bashavin, like you were mentioning, against Benitez. Because I won't be surprised if Liverpool lose next week.
Oh yeah, well they are away anyway. Liverpool, as usual, turn up for big games at home, especially at home. So There was no surprise. I had this as on my predictions as a draw. I had it at 1-1. But for me, Liverpool, for the first 25-30 minutes, they were on the ropes there still. Arsenal had quite a few chances to kill off the game. But as you said, the crucial thing.
But we did. Anfield, it was 2-0.
You do. But the thing is, as you said, and which many people said, get to half time.
You have to keep it tight half time.
The team talk on both sides is different. But once you let Liverpool back in, and the second half they're attacking the Kop end, it's like some power and some sorcery or whatever. And then Arsenal, if it wasn't for the Super Ramsdale show, would have left that game without any points there, because I don't know what Konate was doing. Instead of going with a volley with the leg or with a header, diving header, he should have scored from point blank range. Super saves there from Salah. Back penalty misses there.
Yeah.
Questions have to be asked if there's the next penalty for Liverpool, if it's going to be him to take there still. But for me, Arnold had one of his best games there in a long while there. He was brilliant there. I think
Arnold was brilliant second half. Not the entire game.
In the second half.
Because
in the first half, we were poor.
And even in the second half, the player that stood up for Arsenal that game was Martinelli. My goodness, my favorite player. Run his body. He had so much space on the left. Those two players
dropped and all that. He's come back so strong. But for me, the questions that with the Zinchenko, because he was already on a yellow card, he doesn't know. But the legs have to be closed. You can't have your legs open like that, and next minute is through.
No, it was just awful defending here. That was tired defending, like what Xhaka was doing. Which obviously started.
What was Holding doing on Jota there? You don't make those kind of challenges. Luckily, he wasn't punished there.
Look, I don't mention it now because obviously Salah missed the penalty. What was Holding doing? That for me, it was a tad bit clumsy, but my goodness, football now is so soft. Back in the days,
He clipped him.
No. You both know, if we're going by the old rules of the game, that wasn't, because it was barely enough to make.
All right,
it was barely enough. Wait, hold on, so let me finish. If we're going back to the old lenses, back before the 2000s, if we go back, or should I say the early 2000s, that wouldn't have been given a pen because that was too soft. However, in the new laws of the game, I see the reason why. I see the reason why they gave the penalty, and I didn't dispute the penalty. And obviously, once again,
Well, Salah missed
Salah
it still.
fucking
I think
ran.
what's it called?
Yeah,
He has to think about that. But at the end of the day, it was always going to be a tricky fixture. Those were one of the 3 or 4 fixtures that
yes,
Arsenal
facts,
had
facts.
circled that was going to be tricky.
Yeah,
Anfield,
yeah,
Etihad, what's it called? Going to St James's Park later on and
yeah.
stuff there. So, but at the end of the day, it's still in both teams' hands. Obviously, Arsenal's lifeline that they had before is now gone. Now, what's it called? They have to be 100% perfect now to the end of the season, unless they somehow get a draw at the Etihad, which is going to be hard. But
Tough.
anything can happen in football. You just have to hope for it. But Arsenal, they after their defeat against Man City, they went on a run of 7 straight games. What's it called? It's not easy to keep winning games right to the end of the season, especially when you've got a game like Anfield, where regardless of the form that Liverpool's in, it's just one of those things there. It's a hard ground to go to. Normally Arsenal lose there still, so maybe it's a points dropped or points gained. Ramsdale was struggling to answer the question, as he said. You just asked me as soon as I've come off the pitch. One more thing before we move on. Linesman, what were you doing? What were you doing? If you wanted to push someone off, you don't push the arm, you don't push the elbow up there, you go like that. So for me, people might say it's soft, but Robinson, I know if that was Harry Kane, he would have been, he would have been rolling on the floor like a mad person, like he did, the week before. But for me, I think it's right that they're taking him out of the fixtures there and giving him maybe ban for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was once again.
If it was the other way around, there's going to be uproar.
Yeah. Once again, I think it should be. Yeah, you were totally right. That punishment end of the season. You don't
It's
do
that simple. Yeah.
Because if you're gonna
one more thing, yeah, go on.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say one more thing. What's it called? Well done, Liverpool, for getting the comeback to get the draw against Arsenal. But I don't want Europa Conference. I don't want Europa League. Just finish where you are now, and we're fine. But yeah, go on.
No. Listen. It was a good game. It was just listen.
It's unfortunate. It's just unfortunate.
Liverpool were not in the most confident mood towards that game. You had people like Jota who hadn't scored in 32 games in Premier League. So you had Gappo has been struggling lately. So
shocking, perhaps.
Yep. But anyway, let's move on, man, because we've literally spent about 15 minutes of the show talking about Arsenal.
There you go, still, and we've got about maybe 5 or 6 minutes if we're going to go for the time frame. But yeah, moving on quickly. There's still. What about VAR? VAR. We haven't spoken for a couple of games there still, but Spurs versus Brighton. Is that the only way that Spurs can win a game now? Where they maybe bribe the VAR people? I'm joking. There was no bribery, but at the end of the day, that was shocking.
You never know if it was bribe. You never know.
You never know. It's true. Conte there, but shocking officiating there on the pitch as well as off the pitch in Stockley Park or whatever. How Brighton at least didn't leave that ground with at least a point is unbelievable. 3 times now, the PGMO or whatever, Harold Webb's whatever company, have had to apologize. Apologize are fickle. They mean nothing because the points are dropped.
It doesn't mean nothing. I feel maybe yeah. Obviously with games being concluded, you can't go back to the game and apologies don't work. So maybe now what they could do with VAR, whenever VAR makes a mistake and you've denied someone a clear opportunity to score a goal, maybe there should be added to maybe there should be +3 goals to this team's goal difference. I don't know. Just a suggestion.
It has to be done because
just a suggestion.
Apologies hollow.
Yeah, because apologies the damage is done.
Definite. How are you going to tell me you can't see that? That's not a penalty for Brighton. How can you see that the shirt wasn't being pulled on the Brighton defender there? How are you going to say that you're so sure that the referees made the right decision on the handball there?
And it wasn't.
One. So many.
It was. What made it crazy?
4 decisions.
What made it crazy? I would have had a Drogba moment or Michael Ballack moment against the ref like that, screaming in the game, because you could have 4 decisions across the entire season in one game.
Not in one game.
in one game. You couldn't get it once. To how pathetic. In fact, the whole staff, all of them need to get cleared off because
That's it. There's no
because you're paid enough money not to make those mistakes. You've got the tools not to make those mistakes. It's not like you're doing it live and you can't rewind it. You could go back and watch it. So the game could be going on, but you could go back and watch it and then call the ref back on that. So that was awful. I know that both managers had a little scuffle on the sideline
before the game started.
Before the game,
because there was all sorts going on, fireworks.
Because the Spurs manager was saying that the Brighton manager inherited a Potter's team, and he had to tell him that I made this, and
me. Both Italians as well, passionate.
It was hard to swallow, and I felt pity for Brighton. Once again, one of the best players, Mitoma, made that brilliant run, and then you take that away from them. So Spurs have been lucky, and I feel like they in for a summer rebuild. If they don't, I don't see how they're going to do better than what they're doing this season, next season.
Well, there you go.
Bearing in fact, Liverpool and Chelsea have been awful.
Yeah, well, what's it called? The Spurs, as I said, it's going to be a bit difficult, but they got outside chance of finishing in the top four, battling with Man United and Newcastle. Moving on to the other, results that came through on Saturday. Man United, it was expected a formality win over struggling Everton there still. Goals there from Matomley and Marshall to come off the bench there. The only downside for Man United there is the possible groin injury there. We don't know how long it is for Rashford. And when asked on that question about why didn't you take Rashford off when you scored the second, when they scored the second goal, he said he wanted Rashford to get a bit of understanding with Marshall. Hasn't Marshall been there for 6 years?
For so many years.
Kind of
understanding. I don't
now look at it. Might be gone for 3 years. Weeks.
Ten Hag does that quite a lot. Ten Hag plays, I think for me, it's split Rashford too much.
That's what I'm saying. And now look at it. But then hoping that. Yeah, go on.
But then you look at United, man. What options have they got?
Yeah, but the thing is, that's fine. But once you make it 2-0, Everton are toothless. That game's over. They're not gonna score that Vincent Company and Keane goal every time to try and salvage a game. So once it was 2-0, sub him. That's it. And now it's come back to bite him. Everton, once again, they're battling relegation, looking over their shoulder. They're toothless.
Everton are in serious trouble, man.
So the only thing is that the teams around them are also in serious trouble as well. That might be their only saving grace.
Exactly.
Where a point there and a point there and all that kind of one win could drag you up.
I feel like relegation is going to go to the last game of the season.
Definitely is, and maybe goal difference. Definitely, we'll see how that goes. One of the most informed teams, if not the most informed team, there still Villa. What's it called now? Rocketing up to the table. I think what are they up to 6 there still? Villa. What's it called? And another expected win over Forest, because Forest, as you said a couple of episodes ago, awful away from home there. And Ollie Watkins can't stop scoring. I think that's 6 in the last 6 or something there.
England call up for him.
Well, he should be called up for England. Really, if on that kind of form there. As we know about Gareth Southgate, he doesn't keep to his words or picking players on form. So Watkins might be waiting a long time anyway. But good win there for Villa, and then at the moment looking like a very good opportunity to finish in a Europa spot there. Still, Forest is like the rest of those teams down there fighting relegation there.
Yeah.
Another team that's informed there is Newcastle there away to Brentford there. What did you think about that then?
Resurgence. That's the 5 out of 5 for Newcastle.
And then Isak is, I think it's 5 in 5 there. Isak.
No, not 5 in 5 for Isak. I mean 5 in 5 wins for Newcastle.
No, I'm saying Isak, hasn't he got 5 goals in 5? That's what I'm saying, since he's returned from injury.
Brilliant. I didn't. That went past me. So I'm double checking.
And then Tony, his first penalty miss, I think, because he had a 100% record there still, a bit too casual, and the penalty was awful there, telegraphed there still, but he made up for it by scoring the second penalty that he had, but it's too late, the record's gone there, and Brentford losing a bit of steam there.
Isaac is 4 and 5. 4 and 5.
4-5 there. 4-5. Well done still for quick, what's it called, check there still. But yeah, what's it called? I mean, Newcastle there, that was a tough, it's on paper, it's a tough game to go to still, but well done to keep on the winning streak there. And what's it called? It's in their own hands to finish in the Champions League spots.
They, with what I'm seeing with Newcastle, and obviously I know FFP, so now teams are a bit restricted with regards to how they go about their spending. But the foundation I see Newcastle or what they're trying to do and the performances I've seen this season, I don't see why not now Newcastle can't finish, not in the Champions League. I don't see no reason why Newcastle can't go to Europe every season.
Why not? What's it called? It should be. That should be the minimum from now on.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
That should be the benchmark from now on. What's it called? Nothing below that. But we'll watch that space. They're definitely going to be finishing in Europe this season. It's just about is it going to be Champions League or Europe? Yeah, exactly. That's it. Moving on to what's it called? A big what's it called? 3 points for the likes of West Ham against Fulham, the London derby. I think Fulham have lost 4 on the bounce now. Still, they've lost their mojo. Fulham there. Big 3 points for Moyes there, under pressure Moyes, because every game for Moyes is a pressure game there, so they needed that still.
Yeah, they couldn't afford to lose that. No, I'm saying they couldn't afford to lose that.
And they needed the 3 points, definitely, as you said, minimum not to lose. Then what's it called? Another team that couldn't afford to lose, both teams couldn't afford to lose, is Leicester versus Bournemouth there. What's it called? Because your home games, when you're down there in the 6 pointers,
you have to win.
You can't afford to lose your home games. And that's a very good win for Bournemouth. Bournemouth were both of us to be guaranteed to go down. Now they're on a little bit of a resurgence there, even though they're still 3 points off. I mean, away from relegation, but they'll still take it.
Yeah. I was surprised Leicester lost that game. I know they brought Vardy back into the team. I feel like
he's finished. Since he's been back, he's been doing nothing. It's gone. Yeah, he's finished.
His legs are done, but listen, Leicester have got, like what Redknapp was saying the other day on Sky Sports, I think Leicester and West Ham have got too much of a good team to go down. That'll be one of the best teams to go down in the Premier League, because you look at. I know we're going to say Leicester have cracked, but if Leicester were to get relegated, you straight away you go to the right back. Castagno shouldn't be there. You go to flipping Ndidi, he's better than that. Pereira, a bit injury prone, is better than that. Madison is better than that. Barnes is better than that. Yeah. Ignacio is probably better than that. You've got the guy from
half the team.
Like, yeah, so same, and West Ham even worse. So I'm surprised.
But the problem for Leicester is at least West Ham can come up with the odd clean sheet. When was the last time Leicester kept a clean sheet? If you're not keeping clean sheets, it's very hard to even pick up a mere 1 point.
Yeah,
so for me, Leicester, they're in big trouble, because obviously
the fixtures are crazy.
Away to Man City. So that one is already
They got Man City, they got Liverpool this season, they got Newcastle, they got West Ham, they got Everton, they got Leeds, they got Wolves. Literally every game they're playing, there's a stake in that. There's no the only team I could say that they would play and they've got nothing to play for will probably be, say, maybe Fulham or Liverpool. Other than that, every team's got a stake. They play
and as you said, they're in big trouble there. We'll watch that space, and the reports
I like Leicester. Hopefully they don't get relegated.
There's reports that they're close to agreeing to a caretaker manager of Dean Smith, the former Villa and Norwich manager there still. But if you're gonna point him, you might as well kept Brendan Rodgers. But anyway, it is panic station.
And how many Smith didn't they have a Smith employed before?
Well, he's been a manager anyway.
I can't remember.
I'm sure he relegated Norwich. But moving on to another team that was struggling there, and both teams are struggling anyway. Wolves versus Chelsea.
Yeah.
Wolves Chelsea.
What a goal! What a goal from the Wolves guy. Is it Nunez or whoever?
Nunez. Yeah. Yes. Top volley there. Still blue past the goalkeeper without even the blink.
But he's got the ability anyway. Like I said, Wolves have got loads of technical, great players. That technique, I'm not saying goal of the season, but that was at least to be going for goal of the power. The goal of the month.
Inside netting.
The way he wrapped his feet around it, because the keeper was in a position, but he wrapped it around him like that. That was quality. But Lampard, listen, Chelsea are a cost chalice right now, because Lampard came in, trying to give everyone a fresh start, bringing Oba back into the But imagine where Eric Haaland of Man City's has scored the entire Chelsea team.
Can you imagine? That you would expect that maybe with a team like what's it called, like Southampton, kind of Bournemouth, not a team or squad that's been assembled for almost 600 million.
So
one player scored more goals than you.
It's crazy. Sterling has been a flop.
Oh yeah, he came on, but he played like a ghost in that game.
He's been a flop. You got Sterling been a flop. Havertz this season has been average. Felix plays good, boy, looking like he can't score. He's a good player, but they need a proper striker. Yeah. How they need a proper striker, and the
600 million, and you didn't buy one striker. You have to ask what that guy was doing, Todd Brewster Bowley.
Exactly, and they got rid of the strikers in Werner and
Lukaku and all sorts.
Even though Aubameyang is there, and the defense as well is not the best. Koulibaly, how they miss Thiago Silva, because Koulibaly is an old man. Koulibaly is a freaking old man, even though he's been playing well of recent.
Talk about Thiago Silva. I heard he's back in training, so maybe in time for the Real Madrid game. But even though they still lose that game, they had the most possession. Chelsea, they had 13 shots and only one on target. Is that we keep going back to that figure of 600 million? For me, Chelsea are an absolute disgrace. What's it called? Where are they? 11th? Unless they win Champions League, some miracle like Di Matteo kind of thing there with Lampard. Yeah. It's a almighty horrendous season there. Maybe whoever's going to be taken over in the summer has got a big job on their hands, regardless.
Maybe that's what they need. I feel like whoever comes needs to first start just to work with them every week. I'll focus on the Prem. I'll work with them every week and install what they intend to do, because I think once you start doing Champions League, and sometimes you don't have the rest period to make that transition, but Chelsea have been awful. And I don't understand why they dropped the young French defender who was doing good for them, Bradshaw. The guy went 3 or 4 clean sheets, and then Potter dropped him. I don't know whatever reason, and
he hasn't been back.
It's shocking.
Since then, so they're bringing on the likes of.
But what on to Wolves? Once again, Wolves are a team I don't want to go down. I feel like they're a good team. They shouldn't go down. They got good players there. They got Nunes. They got Pondence.
One of these good teams is going to go down. You keep saying West Ham, Wolves, and Leicester. One of them I think is going down. I got the team, and it looks like Leicester.
I got the teams that want to go down. Ideally, I would want Bournemouth to go down, but they're going to stay up. Well, I don't know if they're going to stay up.
There's no guarantee, but because you can still go on the
and then you go Southampton, who they go all right stadium, but listen, they've been poor.
They're gone. For me, Southampton, they're one of the ones that you almost say that they're gone already now. There's nothing left.
Yeah, and I would like
moving on to that game. Yeah. Moving on to that game, Forest, we were talking about, they brought in 29 players and the team looks all over the place, like what's it called? They're playing Monopoly or whatever. But going to the Southampton there, it was a formality win for Man City. The only thing that we will say is that I'm sure Haaland's disappointed that he didn't leave again with the match ball, because every game that Haaland normally plays nowadays, it looks like he's going to get a hat-trick anyway. He could have got a hat-trick if he stayed on the pitch, because they got a penalty there. So Southampton are doomed. Strikers, they got the strikers. They're injured. Chad Evans.
Yeah. No. I don't really have much to say. I knew Southampton wasn't going to do anything in that game. The only thing is, once again, going into the Bayern game, Man City need to learn how to clip and close the door shut.
Keep a clean sheet.
Keep a clean sheet. Yeah, it's not every day you're going to be playing in the Premier League against these sides and netting 4 or 5. You're going to be playing against Bayern, even though Bayern are not the best at the moment. Well, you're going to be scoring 4 or 5 against Bayern, and you need to learn how to keep a clean sheet. That's all I would say.
And some people base their fantasy, football on keeping sheets there still. So that's all we've got to say there anyway. All the eggs are on the, on the clean sheets there still. So we know about that one. One more game on Sunday, which was which was extraordinary game there at Ellen Road there, where my old friend, real old friend, Granddad, Hodgson there. Lee scored a very good good header from Bamford. Next minute, it was 5 unanswered there. This was like London buses. Tube, train, you name it. Tram, all come together there.
Yeah.
Because 5 goals, Elise, very young, good talent there. What's it called? 3 assists there, hat-trick
Yeah, he's a
assists
good
there.
player.
Very good
I
player
like
there
him. He's a good
still.
player. He's a good player.
Yeah.
Shocking that Crystal Palace went 7 games without scoring. I think they went 7 games without scoring. They went 7 games scoring 7 goals, and under Hudson they've gone 2 games scoring 7 goals. So I think
What would you say? He's scoring through
yeah,
gritted teeth. He's scoring.
yeah, he's
Vieira.
scoring, and they're saying it's the same players, pretty much the same formation. The fourth, so I don't know. I guess Granddad.
But very good. What's it called? Very good win there still. What's it called? And when IU is scoring 2 goals in a game, I think the last time he did that is about 3 years ago, or whatever it was. You know it's good for you, and
It's
you
gonna
know
be a good day.
it's bad for Palace. I mean, for what's it called, for Leeds. Leeds are in trouble. There's so many teams in trouble. What's it called? It's a mess down there.
It's a mess. I think from like 13th or 14th down there, any one of them could go with considering the run of games.
Yeah. So what's it called? That's the game week number 30 there still. Talk about quickly before time permits. So we're trying to do a 20 minutes, but
20 minutes. It's been 31 minutes.
Well, there you go. There quickly talk about the Champions League fixtures. There, what's it called? City versus Bayern Munich. What's that going to be? I think a home win myself, where City win like 2-1 or something.
Yeah, I think City will be too powerful for Bayern. So yeah, 2-1, yes.
Then what is the other one? Is it? I think it's at Real Madrid, isn't it? What's it called? It's at Bernabeu there still. So or the Bernabeu. Real Madrid versus Chelsea there. What's it called? What's the scoreline there? Home win, obviously. Anyway, I think 2-0.
I was gonna go with 2-0, but let me push it one further. I'll go 3-0.
Okay, yeah. So we're talking about what's it called, a blowout there still, and then obviously the other game there was Milan Napoli. I think if Victor is back, because I think he's injured there still. If he's there, Napoli should win that game. If he's not there, because I think he's been injured in the last couple of games there still.
Yeah, they're struggling. Yeah,
it's a big difference when he's not around.
It's not. Yeah.
So you're going for what? Away win?
I'll go for a draw.
Yes, I think Napoli will scrape it 2-1 there still, and then the other one, Benfica versus Inter. I think I'm going for home win, Benfica.
Yeah, I couldn't care less for that game.
No, brilliant there still. Portuguese fans sending comments on that comment from him. But anyway, no, good stuff there. Well done anyway. Hope you enjoyed it still.
Oh well, no, I enjoyed myself. We'll see what I'm just hoping once just to bring it back to Arsenal. I'm hoping Man City drop points somewhere, but who knows?
Well, what's it called? They're not going to drop it on unless it's some kind of miracle or whatever. They're not dropping any points there against Leicester on the Saturday. So, but who knows there? We'll see how it goes there. But Arsenal, because by the time Arsenal 2:00 on Sunday, it could be 3 points. Arsenal have to beat West Ham, regardless of the scoreline, regardless of the performance. Simple.
Yeah,
well, we'll see how it goes. It's going to go right down to the wire, just like everything. Top 2, Champions League and spots, relegation, maybe even Europa League kind of nonsense. But as I said, I don't want Liverpool part of that crap. We'll see how it goes anyway. Still,
all right,
well done.
Have a good night, guys.
There you go.
To the loyal fans.
That's it.